Hello again everyone, it is I, Lord Wolf aka Loot, and welcome to the Immortal Necrostaff of Doom tutorial. This video will show you how to obtain currently the best weapon stat-wise, the quickest way possible, by sharing with you tips and tricks from my own experience and analysis. With that being said, let's get started. Before I show you where to begin, understand that there are 6 total forms of the Necrostaff, with the stats becoming progressively better as each level is upgraded. The first 3 forms are crafted, while the last 3 are received through completing quests. As you continue to upgrade the staff, you will find the requirements become more and more difficult to complete. Because of this, you will be embarking on a long and tedious journey, but no need to worry, this video will guide you along the way. Your journey begins here with Viscera Vex on the Island of the Dead in Doomwood, where you will be able to craft the first 3 forms of the Necrostaff. Each level of the staff requires so many spirit crystals, which can be crafted by combining items received completing 2 repeatable quests. We will get into these quests later, but first notice the length of time it takes to create a spirit crystal, 1 hour. This is part of the reason why the Immortal Necrostaff of Doom takes a significant amount of time to obtain, but like with all crafting, there is the option of spending dragon crystals to bypass this wait time. Moving on, there are actually 2 ways you can receive the first form of the Necrostaff, either by completing the quest Your Doom Weapon Staff, or crafting it through Viscera Vex. Understand that you will not be able to begin the quest for the final 3 forms unless the quest just mentioned is completed, so it is highly suggested that you complete that quest for the first form of the staff. Now let's get right into the repeatable quests. First off, the biggest advice I can give you for completing the repeatable quests is to find other players who are doing them as well. This will help eliminate time spent traveling to pick up and turn in the quests. Using summoning codes or starting a party with other players can work to your advantage, so always keep this in mind. The first repeatable quest, Empowered Spirit Crystal, requires you to kill 10 crystal golems found here on the Island of the Dead. Here is the ideal place to complete the quest. Here you will find Viscera Vex, where you'll be able to pick up the repeatable quest, and over here is the best place to find the crystal golems. This location is the best because the golems respawn in the same location every 30 seconds. Usually there are players here, so if it's a group of 3 or more, I would not use any of your main attacks to avoid killing golems too fast so that all players get credit for the kill. The second repeatable quest, called Empowered Spirit Orb, requires you to kill 10 skeletons and zombies also found on the island. Here is the ideal place to complete the quest. Again, here you will find Viscera Vex in the repeatable quest, and over here is the best place to find the skeletons and zombies. This location is the best because it's the only place to find skeleton and zombies in a large group. I advise using the warrior class to group them up and kill them with your AoE abilities. Also, if you see too many people farming the area, you can also try changing servers. Moving on to the final 3 forms of the Necrostaff, once you finish crafting the 3rd form, you will be required to complete a series of 3 quests that will have you collecting items that drop off of specific creatures throughout AQ3D. This is where things get challenging though, because unlike most quests, trying to track these offers no guidance or direction, as you can see by the multiple question marks. Luckily, I will show you exactly where to go, as well as the most effective way to complete all 3 of these final quests. You should now be able to accept a new quest called Empowering Doom 1 from Viscera Vex. The first item you will need to collect are 20 hot bones that drop off Charred Undead just outside of the Dragon's Lair camp in Ashfall. Let me show you the best place to farm for this first item. Here is where you will find the Dragon's Lair camp, and here is the best place to find the Charred Undead. The drop rate for this item is not 100%, but because the minions are found in large groups, it can be done fairly quickly. Use the warrior class to round them all up and AoE them all down. If you notice there are too many players here, remember you can always try switching servers. The second item you will need to collect are 20 glowing blue bones that drop off Legion minions found in the underworld. The drop rate for this item is also under 100%, and these minions are found scattered randomly throughout the underworld. As with all basic minions found here, upon killing them in designated spawning areas, they have a chance of respawning a random minion. I believe the best place to get Legion minions to spawn is killing the minions found around Legion Dracus. Just understand that due to the lower drop rate of the items and that the Legion minions are not as easily found in the underworld, it will take you much longer to farm for these, so be patient. The third item you will need to collect are 5 large void bones that drop from Void Knightmare in the Void Knightmare challenge found at the World Tree. This challenge can be found by speaking to Slipsguard. At level 25, I completed the challenge easily, but having a group will help speed things up. Thankfully, the drop rate on these items is 100%, so you will only need to repeat the challenge 5 times. Once you have all the items needed and turn in the first quest of Viscera Vex, you will then be able to accept the second quest called Empowering Doom 2. The first item you will need to collect are 30 scarred Lycan bones that drop off Warwolves found at the Deep Claw Caverns dungeon. This dungeon is found in the Darkovia Forest and can be a little difficult to find, so first I'll show you exactly how to get there. Now that you know where to find the dungeon, let's continue. The drop rate for scarred Lycan bones is not 100% and the Warwolves are not found in large numbers, but I have a tip that will help limit the time spent farming this item. Like many of the other dungeons in AQ3D, this one is made up of multiple rooms that are randomly strung together. So I think the best way to get these items needed is by entering only the first room to kill Warwolves, then leave the dungeon and re-enter, rinse and repeat till you have all the items that you need. Just make sure to always enter a private dungeon. The second item you will need to collect are 30 frozen bones that drop off ice revenants in Frostvale. Now the drop rate for these items is not the best, but the good thing is there are many places to find them. There are two options when farming the revenants. The first is finding them in the open areas in Frostvale or just inside the Frostlorne castle, or the second, and the best in my opinion, is finding them inside any of the dungeons found in both areas. I suggest using the latter option and just continue entering and re-entering the dungeons until you have all 30 frozen bones. If you want to get it done faster, then doing this as a group is an excellent idea. The third and final item you will need to collect are 10 undead drake bones that drop from Skalazar in the Skalazar challenge found at Zakaru's Dragon Graveyard. This can be found by speaking to Zakaru, who can be found not far once you travel to the Dragon Graveyard. At level 25, the challenge can easily be soloed, although having a group will obviously help speed things up. The drop rate is 100%, so repeat the challenge 10 times and you will have all the items required. Once you have all the items needed and turn in the second quest of Viscera Vex, you will then be able to accept the third and final quest called Empowering Doom 3. The first item you would need to collect are 5 golden bones that drop off of the Vampiric Golem found in the Darkovia Castle waterway. This golem can be found near the parkour area. Fighting him can be challenging, but you may be able to solo it. But it shouldn't be an issue finding a group, since usually there are people nearby farming Lord Bludgeon's tomb. The drop rate for the gold bones isn't 100%, but I was able to get all 5 of mine in 7 attempts. Only downside to these golems is the respawn time isn't all that good, and it will have you waiting a few minutes in between. The second item you will need to collect are 10 Frost Rune bones that can be attained from Frostlorne at Frostlorne's Challenge inside the Frostlorne Castle. This can be found by clicking on the Ice Horde Sword of Blight. This challenge is a bit difficult, but luckily the drop rate for the item is 100%. It almost always has people farming it, so you should have no issues finding a group, especially on the red server. This fight, though, can be soloed, as I've shown in a previous video, so feel free to check that out. The third and final item you will need to collect are 10 exploded shark bones from Ultra Megadon at the Megadon's Return Challenge in La Locia. This can be found by speaking to Captain Rhubarb aboard his ship. This is, in my opinion, the most strenuous item to collect due to its lower drop rate and the difficulty of the fight. I do think it may be possible to solo if you are geared and skilled enough, although it will be extremely tough to pull off. I think it is better to find a group to farm this challenge to increase the chance of success and limit time spent. Once you have all the items needed and turn in the third and final quest of Viscera Vex, you have officially completed all parts and you now have acquired the Immortal Necrostaff of Doom. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it to be very helpful. I'd like to give a special thanks to those who have had any part in helping me with this tutorial. Before I wrap things up, I want to give a big shout out to my friend Bailey here. She's an awesome player with a wonderful YouTube channel on everything AQ3D. She constantly posts new informative videos, so please check her out and subscribe by following the link to her channel found in the video description below. Once again though, this is Lord Wolf saying farewell to my fellow adventurers till the next time, and I'll see you in the game. Thank you all for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and make sure to hit the subscribe button below. If you have any ideas on what kind of videos you would like to see us make in the future, please leave your suggestions in the comments section.